Hello, everybody. My name is Amol Patel. I'm in Los Angeles. You're watching the Smoking Hot Coffee Show, where we cover internet startups, design, marketing, monetization. I'm joined with,
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Pelton and I'm down here in San Diego.
and you can reach Jeff at Comster, and you can reach me at Amol_Patel. And so, yeah, Jeff, Cup 15, we're cranking along. I got a new title card. What do you think?
Love it. It's pretty nice. I mean, way improved compared to last episode, right?
Yeah,
The
it's
last 14.
a big difference from the
Yeah.
text, large text. I'm not so sure. Maybe I should have made this text a little bit bigger. Is that really clear on your screen, on your side? What's your feeling?
Yeah, it's plenty fine. I think it does the job.
Yeah. All right, because I know I think I was using like I don't know like 20, 30, 40 font on that text pad. But either way,
Uh,
this is what I'm thinking. I'm the brown guy. You're the light brown guy, even though that should be more whitish, pinkish. Um, and then we've got a little Pixel podcasting microphone with the little uh, what are those lightning strikes and SHC, in this whole 8-bit universe. How does that feel to you?
yeah, I'm loving the 8-bit stuff. It's definitely fun.
Cool, cool.
Right up our alley.
I'm a big fan of the retro, 8-bit days. I lived. We didn't have real-time 3D when I was growing up. We barely had
Yeah.
small little blocks moving around. But yeah, kids
Well,
nowadays.
it's fun. We've been looking at it and studying it since we've been doing the show, and the thing I've noticed is it presents constraint, I think, that is a
Yeah,
challenge, right? It kind
yeah,
of gives you a box that you sort of have to paint inside, I guess,
yeah,
where you don't have all the freedoms that you might like as an artist,
yeah,
but
and,
there's something to having constraints sometime.
yeah, yeah. And in fact, because of that constraint, a whole style
Right.
of bringing to life a person or a dog or a dragon or a gorilla. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I love that style, and so for the show, I definitely went one retro. So, anyways, I'd love your feedback out there, people watching. Tell me if you think it looks cool or looks like shit or whatever. Anyways, here we are, Cup 15. Before I get onto the show or we get on the show, I'd like to bring up, people that are watching the show. So we got another comment, Jeff.
I saw
Another
this.
comment.
Yep.
I think this brings up our total to what? Two? Three?
Uh, yeah, maybe three.
Three? All right. So
Um,
this is a third
And this one's
comment.
almost
Yes.
self-referential. I don't know if we're getting a little recursive here, but it's the feedback that we do want to hear, and we're glad that we're striking a chord with you guys. So,
Right. So is Sam's site? Sam's site. I think what's great about you guys is that you recognize your fans and followers. Most don't. Keep doing that even when big, and that'd be awesome. So he thinks that we might be big at some point. What do you think, Jeff? You think we might be big one day?
I hope so.
Yeah.
That would be nice. I mean, I think we have a pretty modest sort of start here, but
Hmm.
depending on how things go and how you guys like this and where the audience wants to take it, could get really big.
I have to say, this isn't just like an average fan. I clicked, of course, I looked into you, Sam's site. Who are you?
Did your typical cyber stock?
I did. I stalked this
Yeah.
guy, and I was just blown away by this guy's talent. I mean, I don't know if he's responsible for some of this 3D stuff, but he says here testing the new wired tile and button system, which suggests that he has built this thing into tiles. So this is basically a multiplayer, one of those adventure games where you use tiles to build out your world or whatever.
Yep.
And it looks like he's testing it. So I could be wrong, but I have a good feeling that this guy actually is a programmer, and he's a games programmer at that. So I think that's awesome. The fact that we've got a games programmer watching our show, and these guys are really they're look at this. This is awesome. If he even did this,
Oh, this is great.
yeah, this is really cool. So if you really are the guy behind the mask here, and tell us more about what you're doing, man. Send us a message, and we'd love to interview you because this is really cool stuff. I'd love to see if this kind of stuff go to the web.
Yeah, I'll have to go dig in through those videos myself. I'm a huge fan of video games
Mhm.
in the sense that it's done a lot for me to encourage me to be interested in computers and networking. and some of the back end side of things. How on earth does this possibly work? Are you able to, play a first person shooter over the internet on a server and collect stats and crunch them, and all the nerdy fun things around it? I think can be great for people to explore their passions. The sort of platform and the mathematics and stuff that goes into these games is really great for in a lot of different ways, I think. So
Yeah, it's
I'll have
amazing,
to look into
man.
this and see what I can learn from the videos he's put
Yeah,
up.
and for me specifically, I'm really into virtual worlds and connecting people through a shared sort of space, the metaverse, or whatever they call it.
Yeah,
So I'm a big fan of all that stuff and presence technology. So, yeah, I'd love to hear more about your project. So let's move on, Jeff, if that's okay with you.
sure.
All right. So the first up here is not that one, this one. Bang with friends. I saw some of this in the press recently. So just briefly, it's gotten a lot of sort of early buzz because it's been, become viral, whatever that word means. But clearly, people are sharing this without the initial push by the originators of the actual software. So it's a plugin for Facebook on the Facebook platform, and it says anonymously find friends who are down for the night. Your friends will never know you're interested unless they are too. Okay, so let's click through here. Bang with
So you
friends.
found this one, and there's some good VCs behind this, I think, and had got a little bit of press actually, although they haven't been out for long. Did appear to capture a pretty big audience.
Well, I have to say, man, this is quite a cover.
Yeah.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing here, Jeff?
Yeah, I am. So if you want to explain it to the listening audience,
Okay,
the
sure, sure. So,
wallpaper.
so we have a lovely icon of a guy banging some girl in the corner, two silhouettes, and it says
That's
"Bang
their
with
logo.
Friends."
Yeah.
And then below this kind of toolbar, we've got a very large photo that's kind of dimmed down a little bit, and it's got this
It's
kind
the
of
whole
cool
wallpaper, basically, the
wallpaper.
background.
Yeah, wallpaper background, and it looks like a very young woman. I'd say probably what, 20, 18, 19. She looks really young. Uh, anyway,
But you
she's
can't
really
see
young.
her face,
You
anyways.
can't
You
see
can
her
see
face
about half of her, and
because
so
she's lying
you
on.
don't know how old she is, but
Well, I'm just looking at her
it,
body, but you're right.
uh-huh.
You're right. She looks. She's just kind of half naked. Her legs are kind of crossed, so you can't see her crotch, but she is pretty much wearing nothing, and she's covered her face with the rest of that dress,
Yeah.
I guess.
And so I like the scene. If you notice in the top left corner is a upside down parental advisory
That's
warning.
right.
Like the
Yeah.
sticker that would normally be on a CD or whatever, right?
Yep.
Is like
Yep.
a big poster in the room, upside down and kind of obscured and hidden, but
Right.
it's getting the message across pretty darn well
Yeah. Yeah.
that this is here to do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And so then
and
we've got this, almost like this little message box, dimmed down black with white text on top, and it says, "Bang your friends. Anonymously find friends who are down for the night. Your friends will never know you're interested unless they are too, and connect using Facebook." And then below that, completely private and discreet until both friends are down to bang. So then, of course, they've got a terms of use,
boy.
TOS privacy policy, and 140,000 likes. Wow. And then, of course,
Oh, wow, is that a comma?
why do they have two different like buttons with two different numbers? One has 1.4 thousand, and I don't know. Anyhow, the
So
point.
I know I've have some beef with Facebook, and one of the things is there's a lot of things. They have a page, they have a community, they
Yeah.
have an application, they have a lot of different endpoints or URLs on Facebook that could gather likes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's confusing. I mean, I'm just a little confused, but either way, I do know these guys are doing okay. I'm not going to connect here because of course, I don't want people, girls, friends of mine, and female friends in my social graph to know that they're being, filmed for the show in this manner. So I'm going to skip that part. But briefly, Jeff, why don't you tell us what you encountered, because I didn't actually do this.
So I clicked on the button to get behind the scenes and see what their app did. Given the pitch of what it is, what the interaction actually is like. It's very simple. One button push. It basically says bang 'em or whatever it is, and
Right.
there's nothing to it. It's basically all they said. Like they said, it's hopefully private
Okay.
and discreet until both people are down to bang. I guess you get a message. So,
So,
I may never know or find out, but
right. But you
I
did.
did look at the app to see what it looks like,
Okay.
and it couldn't be simpler.
Okay.
There really could not be a simpler app, and I think we've already seen a whole bunch of copycats.
Okay.
The interesting thing is in Facebook, if you go into your search bar and type in the name of this app, you can see the app through the Facebook Marketplace or whatever, and it shows how many active users there are.
Okay.
And so
Yeah. And with the
this
numbers.
month, it says monthly there's 500,000 right now,
Wow.
or at
That's
least when I
awesome.
checked it yesterday or
So,
whenever.
so
And
obviously, this Bang Your Friends works better when your friends actually use it because obviously they're never going to
right.
know they were chosen unless they sign up, right? So part of it is I'm sure. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
You can agree to disagree, but I'm assuming you picked one person out of this list of yours, right? That you would like to bang.
okay. Well, we could go with that
Okay, let's go with
theory.
that. And
Sure.
so this person that you would probably want to bang,
Uh-huh.
I mean, what are the odds of her reading the tech press and being part of the blogs and all this shit
Right.
and finding out that this thing exists and then signing up for this and then realizing, hey, fuck, I would love to bang Jeff, and then the match happens and then the app matches you. I mean, it takes a lot of steps for that. That
Yeah,
sort
so
of.
when you first mentioned this site, you mentioned the viral growth of it. Where is it? Typically, there's got to be word of mouth. Where's the word of mouth here?
Well, this is a weird case where you may have selected some of your friends, and in some way you'd love to nudge them, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, to get them to use it, so possibly you're discovered. But how do you do that in an anonymous
Yeah.
way? Is there a
So,
way? Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, no. So here's the only thing. I was surprised actually that the app didn't try to get me to post on my wall. So the viral thing, they have to get me to tell other people to use it. Otherwise, there's no viral loop.
yeah,
Which there may not be. They may only be getting press from mainstream or whatever. But imagine they could have had me post to my wall, "Hey, everybody reading my wall, want to know if I'd bang you?
right.
Use this app."
Oh, I see. Okay.
That would have worked, right?
Well, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I just don't know how many
Or
people would be willing to
if
do
they
that.
could have got me exactly. And
Yeah,
so they
that's
decided to just avoid that altogether. But
yeah.
that's the creative play that I would have taken on it.
Yeah.
You use it as a bait,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say, hey, you want to find out, because then your ex-girlfriend and then the network effect is really gonna swim.
Yeah. Oh, then it'll go into overdrive.
Yeah,
Obviously,
because you're
now
gonna
that
get the 10 people that you don't want to bang to join it just to find out if you would.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're spreading it, so.
Yeah. Well, so
So you've gone to this how to bang page.
yeah.
on
So
their
here I am
site.
at the How to Bang, and they've got a pretty cool information graphic, a grid with sort of illustrations. That one that has an illustration of it looks like a person that's opening up a condom wrapper, and it says "Sign in with Facebook," so you can see your friends. Don't worry, it's discreet. And then number two shows a condom kind of held at the tip, and it says pick your friends, pick the friends you want to bang. We'll only show your friends you're interested if they are too. And then number three, looks like they're putting the condom on the penis. Message each other. Once we know you're both down, we'll send both an email. When and where is up to you. Okay. And then four, the condom is fully on the erect penis, and there's an arrow showing to head towards the balls. BANG, bang. Yep,
Spell
that's
it out,
right.
yeah.
Slow, fast, rough, or soft. You decide how it goes. Stay safe. So yeah, this is
so-
probably one of the best explainer graphics I've seen in a long,
Yeah,
long
what do you
time.
call this style? I like this. It's like the kind of infographic you see in the airplane manuals. How to use your seat as a flotation device and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. No, it's very
the
cool.
like industrial instructional manual.
Well, I love the
on
fact that
how
they're
to
not
use a
showing the
condom.
user interface. They're actually showing the person putting the condom on a dick. They're
Yeah,
not even.
it's very creative, very simple and sweet. Maybe I think we should rate this so I can
yeah, let's
get your ratings from you.
All right, so from a design standpoint, I give them a 4. I really like the way it was designed. Originality, I don't think I've ever seen something like this. I give it a 5. Survival, I don't know. This one's a tough one. After their initial tech press and bump, I give them a 2 because, well, fuck, I don't know. Yeah, I give them a 2. Marketing, I give them a 3 because they got the press. It'd be very interesting to see where they can take it above this. So, Jeff, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, you can see my ratings there on your screen.
I do see your ratings.
the design is pretty beautiful. It's such a simple product that there's not a whole lot to design, honestly, but pretty original idea. Survival is going to be tough.
Okay.
They're going to get a lot of press. They're going to have to ride off of this early wave. I think you and I heard some VC mention them, and it seems like they're somewhat making a name for themselves, a little wedge. But we'll have to follow up and see how they
Well, so
carry
Jeff,
through.
why don't you add a couple of words here if you have any thoughts on that? I don't know if you,
Okay.
but
Yeah. So it's nice that you redesigned the
I
ratings this
I
morning. So
did completely
yeah.
redesign the rating system.
So
Still not
people
very
probably
happy.
notice it's a lot more visible from my end and for the show, hopefully, for the
Yeah,
camera.
yeah, and so that was one of the primary reasons for that is I wanted to make sure it's larger on the screens for the show. But from a design perspective, I'm still, I'd say I'm probably about 50% happy with it, maybe 60. It still needs to be worked out. I'm not so sure if the heights of these rows of stars is the way to go. How do we incorporate multiple people in the our user base? How are we going to show that? Are we going to have a slider? So these are concerns I'm thinking about. So you guys will see this thing change as we move forward. So with that, I'd like to move on to @MailCloud. So @mailcloud.com. We see a little icon, cloud-based email for business. Create email accounts for your company, for your domain with your branding. Okay, this is cool. So it's basically like Google Gmail, but on my domain. Okay, so they got a 14-day free trial. Exchange grade email, calendars, and contacts. Take Let your clients truly own their data on one of the best and most modern messaging platforms. Now, this is great. I'm a big fan of Gmail, but I've always wondered, like, fuck, are they reading my mail? I know they say they don't, but I bet they are.
Are
I bet
they
there's like a
reading
small
your
group of
mail?
guys jerking off late night. They're like, let's just sign in and find a random person and read their email. Nobody's gonna know.
So,
Uh,
sounds like you've worked at a web company or something
well,
back in
yes,
the
I have
Wild
worked at web
West, early
companies.
days of the Wild West. But, anyways, we all know that theoretically happens, right? There's probably stories about Zuckerberg himself doing that on Facebook with
You
people's
never
data.
know.
So,
You never know.
uh, yeah, there's probably accusations a galore, but
Mhm.
how do you know this is going to be secure? Do you
Well,
think this
supposedly
is?
they
This is
say I can see on one. It says I can for your company for your domain. That's a good question. Is this hosted? Is this are they giving me the software? Am I installing this? That's a very good question. But anyways, they've got then further down. They've got a graphic desktop, browser, mobile, sync amongst all your devices, easy for your
really nice
customers.
graphic
Yeah,
showing every device,
yeah, a
basically.
really nice graphic with their with the different devices. Easy for your customers, easy for you. Step-by-step wizards to create their email and domain. Blah blah blah. My guess here, Jeff, is so it's a $2 per user per month, which is pretty cheap. It's a good deal. My guess is, Jeff, this looks like a hosted solution. They're hosting the data and they're doing all that. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, it looks like a cloud service for email, competing probably with people coming away from Exchange.
Mm,
I'd have to look at the messaging a little more carefully on the homepage, but
yeah,
it looks like it would be competing with Gmail, which is interesting.
yeah,
Uh, Very tough space, I would imagine.
yeah. I would imagine too.
I think that's awesome, though. It's actually great to see someone competing
Oh,
in
absolutely,
something as basic as
absolutely.
Gmail.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, any
I'm
one
trying to figure
company.
out exactly what the differentiation
Hmm.
is, though, with their competitors.
It's
Where
a
do they fall? Who are they going to take customers away from? I'm guessing Exchange,
yeah.
and maybe this is something small businesses getting started look at,
Hmm.
as opposed to going to an expensive solution like
I,
Exchange.
I have to tell you though,
Maybe
Jeff.
something a little more robust than what GoDaddy has, but if people know that you could basically get this from Gmail, I'm not sure why they wouldn't just do that.
That's exactly my point. I was going to say is from what I'm reading here, it looks very similar to what Gmail offers, and obviously not enough in terms of. I mean, Google's got the whole suite, and I think it's something like $5 a month or for their Google Docs for per user. So yes, it's
Hmm.
obviously a little bit more, but $2 a month, and the fact that there's another option out there if people for whatever reason don't want to be under the
Yeah,
Google Cloud.
competition's great. Definitely,
Yeah.
we should not all be on the Google Cloud.
Yeah, no, not everybody. And Google, with all the properties and all consolidation that's happening, it's kind of scary. There's a lot of data that they know about us. But okay, so let's go ahead and rate this.
All right, so
So
yeah,
from a
maybe this is a good go-to then for people who want something like Gmail, but
from a design perspective, I give it a 3. It's nicely and cleanly designed, but I don't know. I'm looking for a little bit more wow. It would have been nicer to see that, but it is clean. Originality, not very original. I give it maybe a 2. Survival, I give it a 2 because I don't see a lot of big partners that are launching with. I don't know how they're getting their distribution. And marketing, same thing too. Jeff?
I think they're an underdog. I love what they're doing. We need to root and support them. And I think, like you always ask for, they need a before and after or a comparison to directly say, you know, you're probably thinking about using Gmail. Don't. Here's why.
That's very good. Yep.
Because
contrast.
This looks like, you know, everything looks great. Looks crisp, clean,
and it's
professional.
Right. But it doesn't seem to really talk to the person.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I need
not
to know.
talking to their person that's using Gmail. Like, how are you different? Absolutely right. Yep. Yeah, I completely agree. All right, so Jeff, if you can make it a little text note, I'd love to see something there. Did you add something?
Hitting enter. There it is.
Awesome. I saw the pop up. This is also such a cool function of your framework, man. The fact that you're typing and you're adding these things, and I'm seeing on my side real time. So in a sense, we're both sort of. It's like a persistent. What would the best way to describe what we're seeing here?
Yeah, so with House.js, the platform that I'm using for all of our web development, I'm using Backbone.js in the browser for the JavaScript framework. But on top of that, I'm using Socket.io on both the server and the client to do the real-time communication rather than just big HTTP connections. So for any of the real-time updates, chat type activity, I can do Socket.io messages. And so that's kind of built into the framework where I can do that fairly easily with anything like ratings or startups. Cool. So the other thing that I'm doing today is I'm actually attaching these startups to the episode today. So I'm going into the edit while you're doing this, and I'm attaching this to startup Cup 15. And you could see the screen blinked and it refreshed.
I did see that.
I know.
I see.
Yeah,
there
actually,
it is.
behind
Cup
my name, you can see Cup 15. So we need to work on the style and the positioning of that. But each of these startups that we show on the show will have a reference to it, and so that'll all be linked up. And hopefully, the website is really a robust place to keep all I organized.
Absolutely.
Tie the show together.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you guys can see, we're making these changes daily. So just stick with us. I think in 2 or 3 weeks, this thing's gonna be banging.
In addition, I'm also pushing out the podcast feed
that's right.
the next couple of days. I'm just testing it out right now.
For those that want to listen in the car or on the go. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, in iTunes or through Stitcher or whatever else you use to subscribe to podcasts. We'd love to hear how you do. Subscribe, and we'll make sure to get in that channel. Okay, so next up we've got InvoiceBerry. So InvoiceBerry, send invoices, track expenses, simple accounting, simple online invoicing, expense tracking, perfect for small business and freelancers, save time, money, looks professional. Try us for free. Big little call to action on the left, and then we've got some screenshots of their dashboard and a couple of looks like maybe some PDFs or something. And now we've got our simple the common 3 column sort of snippets, invoice reminder, multiple currencies, send with seconds. Okay, so Jeff, what's your thoughts so far? This to me looks like another Me Too product. I've seen a ton of these. Fresh, what's that one? Fresh. I bookmarked. FreshBooks.
FreshBooks.
So I just bookmarked this because it came across my news feed. It may not be super interesting or timely. Maybe it is just another Me Too. I haven't used a lot of those products myself. Have you used a FreshBooks or found a need for it? I'm just going to say personally, all I've done was a Google Doc. I basically have a one page. I copy paste it, put a different number.
I haven't.
Send that off. I'm done.
Yeah, I haven't, but I have to tell you, man, a lot of freelancers love this kind of stuff. Keep it simple, does the job. I know FreshBooks is making money. I see them advertise all over the map. So they're clearly making money. And once you get these guys, I think it's pretty hard for once you get them customer. I don't think these guys leave because it becomes part of their workflow, becomes part of their business. So the prognosis for someone like. So let's go ahead and rate this. I don't really want to go through the rest of it because I'm getting the picture pretty quickly here. From a design standpoint, I wasn't very impressed. It's okay. It's clean, but it does the job, but it's not very unique. And I think to stand out in this market, you need that. Originality, I give it a 1. It's not very original. It looks like a clone of many of them out there, which is fine. Maybe they execute in different ways, out-execute or innovative in some unique way. I can't tell right now. Survival. I I think if they got a decent marketing budget or SEO guys, with the keywords and organic search, driving links and whatever, they'll make it because they probably just need several thou in terms of just paying the one dev to keep working on it, and then it'll probably grow. Yeah, so I could see that. Marketing, I'm not seeing anything. No partners, no launch, no nothing. So I give it a 1. So yeah,
1. Okay. Yeah, it's not the most original thing we've seen. Looks like they're out of the UK in London, so maybe they're getting people that FreshBooks hasn't reached already. Hopefully, they can up their marketing to find some unique way to stand out. Or maybe they're directly going to people and finding people.
Could be.
And like you said, once they have customers, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. They're set.
They have them for a while. So maybe this is just a small maintainable business that works for them.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong.
We're ripping it to shreds here, but this is really probably something that works really well.
Of course.
Is in the black.
Yeah, and it feeds his family or his or her family, whatever, or it feeds him. Maybe he's in college. Who knows what the issues are, but what the situation is. But it might turn into a nice $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month business. So all right. So with that, let's move on. Draper University. Okay, so this one's really cool.
This one you bookmarked.
I bookmarked this one. That's right. And Jeff. Thanks to Jeff, he had sent me this awesome resource, the eCorner, Stanford's videos for entrepreneurial pursuits and startup culture itself.
This can be kind of described in what I...
Oops, let me pause that. Okay, so here we are. Tim Draper is a legend in the venture capital world. He's one of the original guys that backed Hotmail. And Hotmail was one of the first viral successes on the internet, actually.
Yep.
That little one line, get your free email here. Once you get that email and people get forwarded that thing, they just click on the link and bang. Best advertising you could ever get. And then the user base.
It was one of the first times that sort of ad had probably, the amount of reach, right, that the internet was able to get to so many people with those emails for the first time in the world.
Yeah, and it was amazing the growth that they had back in that time. Even in the video, he talks about how they didn't even realize there were that many computers even in India. He'd sent the founder sent an email to one of his buddies. He happens to be Indian, to another Indian guy in India. And 2 or 3 weeks later, they had 300,000 users in India. Like that.
Yeah.
And or whatever it was, I don't remember. Maybe it was 2 months or 3 months. I can't remember. Maybe it was weeks. But either way, the point is they had no idea even that many nodes were online in India, and so it just grew like wild mushrooms. So the video is really great. Check it out, eCorner in Stanford. And so here we are. Apparently, he's created a university or some sort of teaching thing, and it's a unique school for entrepreneurs. We take creative innovators who want to change the world and turn them into heroes. That's pretty awesome. All right, and he's got a couple of young guys.
Pretty great mission.
A lot of guys in their 20s, looks like, a lot of dudes. Our program will create a company, get mentoring, coaching from experts, and the opportunity to pitch for funding, Silicon Valley VC, all in 8 weeks. So, Jeff, is this some sort of incubator? Is that what I'm seeing here? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, but there's some great photos of him.
And let me just say, this guy's playing air guitar in this video in front of all these Stanford kids. I mean, this guy is awesome.
Singing karaoke shamelessly. And he is really a champion for entrepreneurs. People who are trying to start businesses, I think, is what he's all about.
He is, and he's all about like Elon Musk and Steve Jobs and Sergey and all these guys, like these guys that broke down the doors and changed our world. They literally are changing our world, and I could not agree with him more. I think it was great. It was great watching him, especially after the Obama speech and whoops, looks like there's an ambulance out there. Did you hear that?
Yeah, you got a little bit of the sirens in the background.
Sorry about that, guys. Looks like there's a fire engine out there. Okay. Yeah,
Speaking of Obama's speech, so it was nice though, to definitely get his optimism, shining through. Just how important the entrepreneurs really are to society, and how incredibly challenging it is to be an entrepreneur and to take that step out to start something on your own is an incredible leap.
It is an incredible leap.
And not easy, and so it really does take a support group to make that happen. And I think that's why you see the startup community so passionately bound together in little niches. And they got Tony Hsieh here. He's just a a rock star for the startup community and what he's done.
Yep.
Sort
So
of
they even had the
teaching
speakers,
us what he's learned.
and they had Elon Musk speak there, which is awesome. So this guy's clearly connected. They had Sean Fanning, Mr. Napster. Either way, this is awesome. I mean, after watching that video, I was so inspired. I mean, this guy's awesome. I love him. I love any of this stuff that he does. Anything that to help support startups and keep that fire burning. So all right. So let's talk money here. How do they make money? Apply now. Now I know these guys. I mean,
So you asked if this is an incubator. I think he mentioned in the video that it's like a live-in sort of education, right?
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what. Okay, so they've got program, Disruptors 1 and Invaders, the experience. Okay, the experience. Let's check that out. Wide variety of surprises. Okay, so there's a video. I'm going to pause that. And then now we've got the sample curriculum. Vision, money and resources, creativity, design thinking, painting. Wow, this is evangelism, media training, sales training. This is awesome.
It looks really nice.
This is so cool, man. Just look at this curriculum, man. This is
the curriculum
wow.
is like, I mean, we haven't talked about it on the show a lot,
shit,
but
man. This is
I definitely have my issues with the university system and how they fail to
absolutely
do anything in technology really besides big science stuff. They really fail to unless there's a lot of money in a lab.
Just look at this, Jeff.
In the software, they just are really dropping the ball.
Look at this. Look at these categories, man. Speed and strength, lean startup, speed reading, minimum viable product, pivoting. They even got martial arts on there. And then they've got special powers, lie detection, lessons from CEOs, code academy, pitch workshops. Yeah. So I'm not seeing programming anywhere here. So this is maybe for product, possible futurist guys that are in the product. Maybe you have programmers there. Who are they aiming this at? I guess entrepreneurs, in the very general sense, anybody who wants to make a change and is willing to sort of use these sort of these tools in their toolkit, their tool chest to try to make their dream happen, right? What's your feeling?
Yeah, definitely. Entrepreneurs have to wear a lot of hats. I mean, everything is represented here. Yeah. You have to be able to connect all the dots, whether you can do that yourself, and obviously you can't. You have to be able to, gather a group and network and a team to be able to do it. But, I mean, there's a lot to it, right? You don't have to come from a particular background or
you don't.
Or trade, I don't think.
And I like the fact that maybe that they really are for the entrepreneur and trying to give them a well-rounded experience. Anyways, this is awesome stuff. I'm a huge fan of this kind of thing. I can't tell. There is a tuition, so let's click on that. So here we go. $7,500 for the spring of 2013, $15,000 for the spring of 2000 for the summer, and then to be announced for two. All right, so Jeff, what's your feeling? Do you feel so
great?
Tuition up front. Hold on. Students who develop fundable business ideas will have the opportunity to get their tuition back in exchange for equity. Do you hear that? So if you have a fundable business idea, you will have the opportunity to get all your money back, and they will just take equity. So all the students pitch to a panel of Silicon Valley venture capitalists at the end of the program. For ideas that Draper University is interested in investing in, the student will have the option to have their tuition refunded in exchange for a percentage of equity in their company. Wow, that's really interesting. So these guys...
Did you read option number 2 is to pay no upfront tuition at all, and pay a small percentage of your income for 10 years.
This is very cool,
they're really
man.
investing in you as an individual.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. We've seen this model with
this is so amazing, man.
I think Peter Thiel is doing this too, kind of, and
this is so
Draper
cool,
even
man.
mentioned that.
Yeah, I love this, man. This is just so awesome. This is, in my opinion, possibly the next level of sort of apprenticeships, or maybe even supplementing or disrupting the university system in some way. Maybe there could be sort of trades. I don't know. I think there's more room in education, and if this is for startups, this is really cool. It's a great business model. If you're passionate about an idea, please go check out Draper University and apply. Can't hurt, right? Anyways, all right.
Check it out.
So let's go ahead and rate it. Design-wise, I think I would have liked to have heard personal stories, but I think that's what the videos were. And because of that, I'm going to give them a 4 because I think I would have liked to have seen that visibly instead of having to watch the video. Originality, I give them a 4 because I think it's pretty original in terms of the way they're doing their business model. Survival, VCs are behind this. These guys have deep pockets. So I give them a 4. And maybe even a 5 if they hit a home run. They're going to be the school we paid for years. And marketing, probably a 3 because I hadn't heard about it until I watched that video. So Jeff, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I gave them high marks. I'm optimistic for these guys to, do great things. I think great people will come out of there, and hopefully build great companies is the goal. But it's still early days. I think they've had only one session go through so far, but this is awesome. We'd love to see people going here instead of through a 4-year university.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
Hell yes.
Or maybe instead of considering the MBA, right?
Yeah, exactly. Perfect example. All right, so I wrote, love this stuff. Please make more. And there's a bug right now with our way that the ratings are being displayed. It looks like it's doing a double. So just ignore that for now. But I can't see your ratings down there. We're going to have to fix this. All right, we'll fix this for next time. All right, so here we are, TechPub. I remember checking these guys out. TechPub.com. So this is top quality. We've got a large graphic. Here's a large slideshow. It's still coming in. Oh, no, it came in. Postgres Rising. C#, async, Skeet style. Top quality screencast for programmers. Keep your skills sharp with TechPub. Okay, Jeff. So this is another, programmer teaching other programmer type startup. Do you learn anything from watching videos? I mean, is this a good way to learn, in your opinion, for new technologies?
Yeah, absolutely. I think video multimedia is probably the best way to learn, don't you think? Where you have multiple ways of engaging with the content.
Yes, multiple ways is useful. For me, I've always fallen asleep watching these videos. So
really, you said that you've been a previous subscriber to things like Lynda and other.
So especially programming videos, I tend to be kind of like, oh god, let me try to understand how this works. But a lot of times you don't know how it works, and you just have to type it out. A lot of times you're not even knowing what the hell you're doing. You're just typing it out, And and so watching it 3 times around isn't really going to help. You really literally have to type it out. And so in my opinion, a blend of video hovers that are on a sort of code screen that you're literally, as you're typing, there are videos that are showing up based on what you're typing, I think would be the better way of doing this, because literally watching a video is the wrong approach. You have to be typing. And as you're typing, video instruction to come up or something to that effect, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think that's what's possible with the web now. And so I know, maybe this is just another video education series or platform. Maybe you can dig into here a little bit more, get an example of that Backbone.js or something.
Yeah. So here we are. There's a content library, and they've got a playing with Backbone, and there's a little preview, and now we're on a detail page. It's $17 as an author. A little graphic on the right or on the left, and they've got some description underneath. So clearly, this is the same sort of the Lynda kind of model.
So it says that they're publishing through Vimeo in this case, and they're selling it for $17. So, I guess what I would be looking for here is a hybrid with. I think we may have seen 1 or 2. I'm trying to keep bookmarking these and bringing them onto the site, which are the what are like the JS Fiddle, the the CSS Tricks guy has
Code
one.
Academy, in my opinion, is probably the best one.
CodePen.
Yeah, CodePen.
So there's a lot of there's one that I bookmarked prior that we didn't show, which it sort of records the code as you type it. It records that in time.
Code Player.
Yeah, Code Player is great.
Amazing. I was blown away with that. Yes.
I'm looking for something like that integrated with the education.
Absolutely, I think that's the piece that's missing.
It needs to kind of it needs to be. And rich media, right? So you're not watching a video of the text; you're actually watching the text so that you can highlight, copy, paste it, stuff
Absolutely.
like that. That sort of engagement level. We know. I think that Khan Academy is doing a pretty good job, aren't they, with the interactive everything's JavaScript and
Yes, I
some
do
real
know. I know
time.
they lured
Again,
the.
it's going to be math and stuff, not programming, though.
I know they lured the guy behind jQuery into joining the team.
John Resig, I
Yeah,
believe.
so
Yeah.
clearly they must be doing something right. I mean, yeah, and you know, with him on board, it's going to be he's definitely going to push the interactivity and the toolkit internally.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
You know, with his expertise. I mean, yeah, it's. I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. But yeah, you know, honestly, from a design standpoint, I think it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
a little.
rating this one.
It's a little bit plain, you know, but which is fine. You know, it's not really terribly exciting from a design standpoint. But they've got the simple, clean template. They've got the sort of Twitter sort of social proof, which is really cool. I really like that a lot, actually. And I can link. I can click on the actual people that they're suggesting that are writing
Yep,
these.
this is my favorite kind of social proof right here.
Yeah, so there's actual. I can click on this guy and actually go to his Twitter page to see if it's a real.
Yeah, it looks like these are all the actual embedded tweets using
And in this
the Twitter
case,
embed where you can click follow and retweet and favorite. You got all the engagement right there.
and so in this case, Jeff, you know, these are programmers. Programmers live on Twitter, and so it makes absolute sense that we should get their response in the Twitter embed. So yeah, I think this is a really carefully, you know, it's done. It's well done. They've got the pricing sheet, $15 a month, which is great. I like that a lot. It's $15. That's good. 15 a month is a really great value. A lot of them tend to be in the 20 to 25 range. $15 is a good deal, and their content library seems to be okay. Oh, it's actually not bad. We've got about 3-4 pages of stuff. So yeah, they've got a decent amount of content here. Looks like all over the map. .NET, JavaScript. So clearly, for people that are learning these new technologies, and there's no shortage of that, it could be a great business. My question to you, Jeff, is: would you sign up for something like this, or you find watching videos impediment, or what's your feeling?
You know, it's never been my first approach to learning to program, let's say. Maybe for some other fields it might be more interesting or specific needs, you know, like if you needed a, you know, iOS Kickstarter or CSS, you know, advanced CSS course or something, might be great. But again, I don't know, I guess you could just buy that one episode. I'm not sure how you can guarantee what the future content will look like if you subscribe.
Okay. All right. I agree with you. I agree with you. So
What are you looking for here?
I put video plus IntelliSense is what's needed.
IntelliSense, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So all right. So I think that covers TechPub. Oh, you know what? I didn't
Learning online is great though. We are looking forward to.
Yeah, I do like these.
Seeing that
Let me
evolve
quickly
more
go
and
over this. Design-wise, nothing too exciting. I give it a 2. Originality, again, same thing. Survival, I give it a 3 because it's a very tight niche. He definitely targeted to programmers, all about programming. And marketing,
I think
same
they
thing,
need
3.
the authors to get the survival. You know, they need the authors to be promoting content,
which I'm sure they
getting
do.
people
I just
driving the traffic.
Yeah, which I'm sure they do. I just don't know. Yeah, they're not. I don't think I've seen any of their banners or ads anywhere. I've seen a lot of Treehouse and the other ones, but not these guys. So that's fine. Maybe they can keep growing and adding to their library, and of course that'll help their marketing. Oh, so next
I
up
think
is
the Treehouse has definitely got the tracking cookies where they're following you around the web.
Oh yeah, no, they've got.
Maybe these guys just aren't doing that.
Yeah, yeah, no, they definitely got the ad spend going there. So here we are at frequency.com. So we've got a logo in the corner, and then below that we've got watch the internet. Click a channel to begin. Create your first channel. Okay, that's kind of cool. So this is interactive right away. They've got these big icons, favicons, for looks like content site. We've got Facebook, we've got TechCrunch, TMZ, Laugh Factory, Boing Boing. So I'm going to go ahead and click TechCrunch. I didn't even scroll down. I just those hovers captured me. And now I'm at
it's a really beautiful homepage.
Yeah, so now I'm at this, looks like their play page, and now it looks like a playlist of all the TechCrunch videos. I'm going to put this on pause because I've got an ad from YouTube. All right, okay, so I can see, all right, this is just videos on TechCrunch with a little Facebook comment thing going on. Jeff, okay, well, how is this?
All I'm seeing here is an aggregation
Yeah.
of a YouTube page.
Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, so let's click on something else. I'm clicking on Creators Project. Same thing. We've got Source YouTube. Okay, so from what all right, I'm gonna go back because so right now, guys, I'm not seeing that much uniqueness here. It looks like It's just a play page.
Oh, just see, it had that frequency knob kind of going on concept, but yeah, maybe they'll explain more with.
Okay, so it says, what is frequency?
Concept.
Just like the internet, just like TV. Frequency is an amazing new way to discover and watch videos from your favorite online sources, turning the internet into TV. Okay. Gathers from Facebook, Twitter, CNN, New York Times. Every site is streaming. Frequency turned the most popular websites into channels you can watch. Okay, Frequency does it all.
So now they're showing an iPad.
Yeah, they're showing an iPad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it says does it all automatically. It highlights, shows only the best of best videos. Bookmarks. No more bookmarks, searching and hunting and peeking. One signal video player holds all the internet's videos neatly organized. Personalized recommendations. Learns what you like, and then we'll give you some rich and fall. Okay, so right now, Jeff, I don't know about you, bro. I'm not seeing, like, how is this? Why would I? Can't I
I'm
just?
not sure. I think if you log in, it's going to give you an aggregation of probably your Twitter and Facebook.
Jeff, why can't I? Hold on. Is this like a dial I moved? No. Why can't I just go to Facebook or YouTube and type in creators prod? I mean, what? How is this any?
Yeah, you can. I'm not sure. Yeah, the demonstration they have here isn't very useful. Just showing you what you could get in YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Right. These just look like YouTube channels.
They literally look like YouTube channels. I'm clicking on some icons. I mean, yeah, I can. Wow.
So what I'm telling you is I think this looks like it's targeted for your iPad and is like an aggregate, is a reader, like a destination. Instead of going to YouTube, going to Facebook, going to Twitter, going around places, if you feel like watching some videos, then you would pull up this app on your iPad or on your desktop here, and if you signed in, I think, and connected with some accounts, it might make a little bit more sense.
So I clicked on guide, and they've broken this up. If I click on design, there's a tons of channels. Okay, all right, I see what you're saying. Okay, so what I'm hearing from you, Jeff, is
without logging in, you're getting a whole different product.
So what you're saying here, Jeff, is this product is really designed for a tablet. And while you're on the tablet, I can pick a different topic, and it basically aggregates those. The best of it, curates it for that channel. If what I'm hearing is correct.
Not just a tablet, but the tablet is emphasizing the the format of wanting an aggregate, magazine sort of, friction-free way to get the best videos, right?
Okay.
I mean, if you're in Facebook or Twitter, you're going to get distracted by all this other stuff. If you're just in YouTube mode, right? Sometimes you just want to sit back and watch stuff. I think this is trying to help you get to the videos quicker.
I see.
What could happen if you connect this with your Facebook and Twitter is it can simply scrape and look at your feed, your news feed in both Twitter and Facebook, and look for YouTube links or channels that you're already subscribing to, or it can basically scour out and look for all this stuff that it can suggest to you and say, hey, you would have seen this in your feed or from a friend's suggestion, but present it to you in a clean, palatable fashion in,
Fair enough.
It's like, I'm looking for, there needs to be a Google Reader for video, right? Or like a Pandora for video. No one seems to have done that yet.
Well, I have to say, Jeff, I'm not quite seeing the differentiation, but I hear what you're saying. They've sort of curated a good list, good icons at the top, and then they've got a guide, and they've kind of curated their guide, and so I'm basically they're sort of filtering this stuff for me, and then I can add my own and blah blah blah. Okay, I could see that, and I don't know who their editors are, and who knows if they're better than whatever YouTube's algorithms.
No, you're getting the wrong. You keep forgetting that you're not logging in, right? Like if you log in, you don't need editors. Your editors are your friends.
Okay.
I think. I mean, I'm kind of talking a lot for the app, which it's not doing a good job of explaining all this.
Right.
What happens if you click? What happens if you click the call to action though at the top center?
Good point.
You can't just look around all the time.
Okay, which I'm not going to do.
No social account. So I mean, I think sometimes we're not getting the full picture if we don't fully engage with the app.
I completely agree. Okay, so either way though, bro, I think they need to explain their differentiation a little bit more clearly on this, in my opinion. So I do think they need to do that. But it's beautifully designed. I think their messaging needs to be more improved. Okay, so from a design standpoint, I give it a 3, let's say. Yeah. So it needs work on. Originality, I'm not seeing it too. Survival, same thing. I'm not seeing it. Marketing, same thing. I don't know. I wish these guys luck. I just, in my opinion, from what I've seen, I don't know if I would sign up. How is this different.
I think it's original if they presented their idea better. Um, I think
Yeah, maybe.
people have kind of tried stuff like this before, but if they, it could be original if they cut out a real problem.
It's clear that they want you to go through a curated guide, and maybe there's a lot of value there. I'm just not seeing it right now. But all right, so let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, people spend a lot of time on YouTube, right? There's a lot of people still trying to figure this out.
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
no one's nailed it yet.
You're right. You're right. And there's always room for innovators in that space. So, okay. So here we are at yoursports.com. There's a nice logo in the corner with a sort of a hand pointing up, a little icon of a hand, which points to their logo. So I'm just looking at their logo, and I'm like, okay, what's the point of the hand showing?
Well, it's like I think it's like in sports, you get the big foam hand.
Okay. Well, right now that big bum hand, that hand is pointing at their logo, and I keep reading their logos to try to glean some special thing, and I'm not seeing it. So I think that needs to be changed, but that's fine. Then on the right, we've got a login and email, and then it says connect your sports, join now. Connect with your sports. Get the best articles, photos, videos about your favorite athletes, teams. Express your fandom freedom for all things sports. Talk sports. Usually share Facebook, Twitter. Have a private invite. Sign in. Okay, so Jeff, it looks like they're aggregating stuff that you type in based on sports, I guess. Maybe they have a whole bunch of sports tags, and you select on what sports you like, and then it aggregates that data, and then you can share it. I'm not seeing it.
Don't know. There's not a lot.
I'm
here.
not
Maybe
seeing
click
it,
on
man.
some
I am not seeing the value
there's
add,
nothing,
guys. Okay, so I'm clicking on about.
Nothing on the homepage.
It pops
would help
out
us.
the about.
Maybe they've given out some beta invites to people that they know who are,
Okay, so check this out.
avid sports fans.
This right here tells me more than on their homepage, I think. Is connecting your world of sports online down to the local neighborhood level. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. The result is your sports news about your favorite athletes, your teams delivered live to a single place, very social. Coming soon, local sports. Okay, so local sports to me is interesting. Now, all this other shit, I don't know what the hell's going on, Jeff. Correct me if I'm wrong. What is this? Can you tell me?
No, I can't really.
I'm going to click on
It
play.
looks like a way to just a social network and a community to follow
Oh, wait,
sports that you're
here we go. Check this
interested
out.
in.
Okay, so now this is interesting. I clicked on.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's an app that they have. Yeah. So this is very interesting. Sorry, I did a poor job of recalling. I did bookmark this, and I remembered you would find this. And these screenshots do lead you to understand what this app might do for you.
Why shouldn't this be on the homepage? Why'd I have to hunt down for the? I mean, we don't need that big hand, guys. Remove the big hand. Put this up there, right? Because it's confusing. Granted,
So this is kind of an interesting pattern, by the way, for companies though that do. Maybe they put out a bunch of iPhone applications and they don't. It's a branding issue, right, between the parent company and the individual apps.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. But here we are. We're seeing a page, a sales page of an iPhone app, and it's sliding through the different views in the iPhone app. And then we've got a sort of a bullet list. I would have liked these bullet lists to be either less or larger font size. It's a little, maybe the shadowing is too. I don't know. It needs work. Cover football games live into Twitter in 3 seconds per play. Okay. With play.
So this is an interesting idea. I've actually done something like this, used something like this in the past a long time ago, but on the iPhone, you could see basically an interface where you could quickly input the play for, what are they showing? A football game?
It looks like
so
it, yeah.
You've got run, pass,
Yeah.
you've got yard, score. You can quickly put in some controls to quickly input the activity on the field.
I like this. I like the fact that they're taking input mechanisms and really tailoring it for a game. And they even said plays has engineered it down to 3. So 3 seconds to enter in the data for a play.
Right.
That's awesome.
Love it.
I like that.
Yep.
I do dig this. I'm digging this part. The design of the actual interface could be better and more, footballish or sports looking. It's looking pretty generic, but the concept is very cool. The concept is very cool. Using your thumb to be able to quickly add different plays in and being able to share that with anybody. So yeah. So coming soon, live stats, follow other games, plays, base basketball. Okay. All right. So I can see this. This I can see going somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, this
Definitely.
looks pretty unique. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go back
so
here.
so people already like to sometimes keep scores at the games, right? Like at baseball, you get the card and you fill it out as
Yeah.
you watch.
Right.
That's as fans, but this is kind of targeting people like, you're watching your kid play at the local high school. You might want to keep the score. Doing that is actually really hard sometimes to do in real time.
Absolutely,
I think this sort of interface is able to keep up with real time.
Yep.
And so the amount of time it takes to input one play is actually really important if you're trying to keep up with the pace of the live action game.
Yep.
A quick story is something that a really interesting thing that I've used in the past. So the iPhone, I think, is great because people are building apps like this that are very tailored and specific, that you no longer have a keyboard. You have these touch buttons, big button for run, big button for pass, very specific to this problem.
Right.
Something that I always remembered and loved was in high school, actually, one of our teachers had an Palm Pilot.
Okay.
The basketball coach had a Palm Pilot with an app on it that did this.
Oh, really?
For basketball.
That's cool.
And I swear to you, in high school, 10 years, 12 years ago at this point, he had me and a buddy do the score for them. And it was awesome because normally if you wanted to keep that score, there's a book and there's a lot involved. But with this one device, him and I could just sit there casually watching the game, telling each other, helping each other.
That's
but,
cool.
Just tapping away. Right?
How was the input?
I remember.
Was it easy? Was it fast?
Yeah, it was with a stylus, and basically it showed half a court. You picked where they shot from and whether they hit or missed the shot, and what player number it was. But we could give that to them, the coach at halftime, and he could have a visual representation of the shots. The hit or miss shot and from where and the distance and whatnot, and some stats on his players. And so, anyways, I always thought back to this as, wow, the iPhone has blown us away with all these unique apps. And actually, we've had stuff like that, back in the Palm Pilot and before even probably. But I definitely love people cutting out a niche like that where it really does make a difference.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
When you get really specific, specific like that, it's just incredibly helpful, and it unlocks something that wouldn't be possible without it. You would have to go back to pen and paper and sort of tabulate it.
Yeah, so coaches
compile it into a spreadsheet later or something.
So in a sense, what this is bringing computing to outside of the office, outside of the laptop. So the idea is how can we bring computing to the sports arena, to the sports field, to a construction site, to any area that the computer was never really part of that workflow, and bringing that to that area. And so Google Glasses is going to be a whole other set of innovations that are going to come around that. And so the phone is the first step in this direction. The watch, the phone, the shoe, the pants, all of these things will have some sort of computing power and networks to them, and it's an exciting to use these new tools out in the real world. But all right, so I'm going to go ahead and start rating. Design-wise, not impressed.
Cool, 'cause it's something that people wouldn't have always thought about doing. It's like, oh man, it's a lot of data, a lot of work.
Yeah.
But then once you have it, you realize the power of it,
exactly.
right? You can instantly, during the game or during halftime, quickly see crunched numbers, not just your hand tabulated or estimates. And so I think that's where the power really is, and kind of realizing what you can do with that data that you never had before. So I think these guys need a little help with their design and marketing, but other than that, it's a great product if they can get it in the hands of the people that need it.
So designs. Okay, so I put the design obviously could really use a lot of help in my opinion. There's it needs some work. Originality, I felt was pretty original, very specific to this kind of reporting and tool for sports. That's great, especially for local sports. I get that. I was confused with their messaging because they talk about following your favorite athletes and all this other shit. I get that. I get how you can connect that to the device and combine that and all that shit, but
looks like they might have a bigger picture, right?
I get there. They got this massive vision. I get that, but it's really cool to just let the vision simmer a little bit in the background and really nail this part. Get the best coaching tool ever made that every football, basketball coach would ever have. Like, this is the pinnacle of that shit. And then maybe do a fucking aggregation play with an ESPN and all these other fucking aggregators and just funnel their data into a section of this. But honestly, you gotta, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, here's my take. If you can make it really, really easy for people to use this and find it in the App Store, they will. They're gonna tell parents are gonna tell other parents,
Yeah,
and they're
so
gonna be
that's a
just
whole other
using this
question.
thing while they're
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
in the stands
Yeah.
using. And so then that's what I would focus on, just that one
Okay, well,
thing.
now
Just
you're
keep
talking.
making it
Now you're
super easy to input
Yeah.
and getting parents to use it.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to have all this data.
You know,
You can be like, what do we do with all this data? And
Jeff,
that's a fun problem.
Jeff, you just brought up a very good point. I completely ignored this, and that is this whole science and art, black art at times, about ranking apps within the App Store. There's a whole there's a whole trick to that, you know, using keywords, finding ways of getting a bunch of people using it within the 24, 40-hour period, so you can get in the top 20 or top 50, because if you can't get in that top 20, top 50, then you're fucking screwed. There's no way.
Exactly, that's the problem. If you're not on the top the list,
I mean,
which
it
is
is
the top
impossible
10 or
to get
25,
visibility. It's literally
then
SEO.
your downloads are a trickle.
It's SEO for the App Store or a Google Play Store or Amazon Store. All these platforms, you got to have some fucking trick, some know-how to get a swarm or get a crowd to hit it within the first 48 hours, and then you can get in the best sub. Most of these algorithms, they all work the same way. They want to see a big, huge amount of fucking people hitting it. And if they see that, they see that massive spike, then they'll get you in the top 20, top 50, and then bang, then you're just coasting.
And it's worth it, man.
Yeah.
I've actually talked to people who have struggled with that and been in that competitive space where they're like, how do we get get seen, right?
Yeah.
Get our app up there where people will start using it and trying it. And you definitely have to do these brute force efforts I think you do have to punch it all at one time so that you do get a massive spike and get noticed.
I mean, you could argue
basically they're paying $1 per download.
Right. So let's say, Jeff,
at least $1 per download, maybe more. And through all the game apps.
So let's say, Jeff, let's just say I'm gonna put on my black hat here for a second, if you don't mind. Let's say I want to fucking get in the top 20. Let's say top 50. And I know that in order to get the bottom spots in the top 50, I've got to sell 10 to 20,000 units within the first 24 hours of getting listed in the Apple Store. Let's just say. So I theoretically could take a $20,000 budget. I can maybe spend a little extra, get this job listed on Amazon Turk, and I could say, hey, listen, I will pay everybody the $1 to do this. You're not going to pay out of your own money. I just need you from your location, from your iPhone, to download this, and I'll give you 50 cents or whatever the fucking thing is, right? So he pays these guys 50 cents, and then I pay out of my pocket the $20,000 to pay for all the apps that are downloaded. Now all of a sudden, I'm essentially paying my way to get in the top 50 or the top 20, right? Theoretically.
Yeah.
And then once I'm in the top 20, then you naturally get all this visibility. Apple is promoting you, so there are millions of other people that are looking at the top 20s. At that point, you'll naturally get people checking it out, and a percentage of them will buy, and then bang, you'll probably get your 20 grand back in the first day. That's my opinion. I don't know. What do you think? I've never tested this.
Yeah, obviously. It's a wild idea. I don't know if it would work, but it definitely does take a concerted effort at the launch, I think, of the app, or at least at some point.
And if one of our listeners
to try to get a mass of people using it, I don't know how that has to do with this product that we're talking about.
If one of our listeners,
I haven't looked at them in the App Store.
If one of our listeners decides to try this little black hat technique to get into the Apple Store, please send me a note. I'd love to hear more. Because this kind of stuff fascinates me. All right, so let's move on. Here we are at Quote Rabbit.
I think we're actually over our duration for the day.
Are we? Okay,
yeah.
Are you sure not one more?
We can do one more.
Oh, God, this is such a beautifully designed site. Okay, Quote Robot. I love this kind of stuff. So this is Quote Robot makes it easy to write winning proposals, invoices, contracts, when customers get paid rapidly. So most freelancers, web designers, and small service providers, they all have to do the same shit. It's writing up the quote, writing up the proposal, all of that. And so this looks like they have a proposal template and with a really beautifully designed user interface, so you can kind of configure the proposal process and track it, and very beautifully designed. I have to say, and it plays nicely with FreshBooks and all these other services that freelancers use. So in my opinion, this looks like a very focused app. It's almost like a proposal configurator, right? Now my question to you, Jeff, is would you pay for this? I mean, do you write that many proposals where it would cost? Like, let's see, how much do they charge in here? Try it free, only $10 a month.
That's what I was going to ask you with FreshBooks. I don't find myself sending out enough invoices to use a service like that either, so I don't know how many proposals you'd have to be sending for this to be worth it, or if they have a an advantage where you're gonna close more deals if you use this.
That's a very good point. I'm not in that position where I'm sending out several 20, 30, 40 proposals where I need to configure it and bust out a PDF. I can easily do this separately. I don't know why I would use a system like this, but maybe for shops that I've got a lot more designers on and they're doing a lot of these, I could see that. And it also does some tracking and it's beautifully designed. So maybe there is a decent market for this. Either way, it's $10 a month. It's not too expensive, so maybe not. You probably don't even need that many. Maybe it's just cheap enough that solves a unique, a common problem for these guys to make money. I've seen other startups that do this kind of thing, proposal configurators, and they're still around. So I think it does make money. So I'm going to go ahead and start rating this. From design-wise, I love the design, guys. Beautifully designed. Originality, I'd give it a 2, because I don't think it's that terribly original. And for survival, I give it a 3. And marketing, I give it a 2, because I don't see a lot of social proof. And I don't know how they would. I guess you'd have to somehow, from a distribution standpoint, you'd have to start getting in those sort of AppSumo bundles and all these different marketplaces for web designers, and possibly getting in front of them. That might be a good way to market to them. But okay, so that was a really quick one. I'm gonna go ahead and add my. Yeah, that's a perfect one. Add to the DFlow. So I would say agree with Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not sure that I would need this, right? Or what the value is to get people to, how do you close people on using this product?
Yes.
When the alternative
prospecting,
is
right? Prospecting,
so simple.
And then closing, yeah. And then
so more than just a replacement, it would be great if they offered, this does more than what you can do yourself.
Yeah, I completely agree. So maintenance. So yeah, those are the 3 features. It'd be great if they covered that. So yeah, all right. So that ends our show. Jeff, anything you'd like to add?
No, that'll do it. Looking forward to the work we've been doing on the back end of the site this week and getting the podcast set up after the show here probably. But otherwise, just moving right along, covering these startups and looking for you guys' feedback. And hopefully you guys will start telling us what startups you want to see.
Yep.
And, start reviewing them too, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try to pretty up the site, but, you can jump in and start reviewing them along with us today.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Same here. Please give us feedback. Please tell your friends. Please watch us several times a day. Please watch us all day. Shit. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Cool. See you tomorrow.